Hi everyone! Welcome to a new coloring tutorial. My name is Agota. I'm an illustrator and happy colorist. In this tutorial, I'm going to show you how I pick my colors for coloring an illustration. How to choose your colors based on the color theory is a complex subject, and I will leave that to another tutorial. Though having a basic knowledge about the color wheel will always come in handy. But for now, let me show you my process of picking colors for this tiny Easter illustration. First, I decide on the general mood of my coloring. Colors are very moody, so pick your colors considering the mood you want to create. For my tiny coloring, I want a cute look, something delicate and light, so I picked some light pinks and light blues as a starting point. Around those two colors, I am going to build up my color palette. And even though I want a delicate look, I am still thinking to add a little bit of contrast, so I am going to also add orange. Orange and blue being contrasting colors. To see how the colors are going to fit together, I create a little color chart. I organize my colors in warm and cool blocks. For now, I have pink, orange and blue, but in my coloring I also have some leaves, so they kinda must be green. To stay close to the initial idea of blue, I am picking a cool green. To create a nice transition, I also add 2 shades of turquoise. Now that I have my basic colors, I will also need some darker ones for shadows. So I add the dark red to my pinks. The little basket in my illustration will also need color, and I'm thinking of a light brown. But I also add some other tones of browns to create a more realistic look, and a darker brown for shadows. And also I found some other blue pencils that might look nice with my palette, so I add those too. And now my palette seems to be ready, but some of the colors are not fitting my concept, so I eliminate them. Some greens that are not enough bluish and some blues that are not that neutral as I wanted them to be. And finally, I pick my colors. Of course, this doesn't mean that I cannot add more colors on my way if I need to, but I will always stay close to the original idea. And maybe a black will be still useful for shading. So let's see how this will work out. And here it is. I already found some new colors. I always do. A beautiful dark turquoise and an orange brown. I start coloring the leaves because they must be green, or at least according to my idea. So I color them first because it is easier to adjust and distribute the rest of the colors if I already have one down. And yes, I will be coloring on color groups, like here my greens for the leaves, then the browns for the basket, because I also know its color for sure, then the pinks and the orange. Those being warm colors, I will add them together. And finally my blues. I think this way is easier to harmoniously distribute colors and add them to the right place visually because you are building it up and you create your reference as you go. I think coloring on groups of colors is very helpful too when you have a larger variety of colors on your palette. You can distribute them better in a harmonious way. But if you're a beginner, I advise you to start with a limited color palette, and then slowly, as you get a deeper understanding on how colors work together, start expanding your color palettes. Using all the colors you have in one coloring can create a chaotic look. So having a limited and balanced color palette will always be a better choice. Having some sort of contrast though is essential, so you can create a point of interest. You can use color contrast like I have here with my orange and blue, or dark and light contrast of the same color or colors that are close to each other on the color wheel. Now let's color the little basket. I start adding the shadows and then the rest of the colors. Now it is time to use the pinks and oranges. I will color the axe and the little bow. But I'm trying to distribute the two colors harmoniously. And because my idea is to create a cute coloring, I'm thinking to also add some dots to some of the eggs. So you see, you can reach your visual goal of creating a cute coloring not only with colors, but with tiny details that you add. Be creative. I like blank spaces in coloring pages because it allows me to be creative and add my own unique touch and mold the result to my concept. So be creative if you have the space for it. This is why it is good to have an initial idea, a concept, a mood for your coloring page. And now, adding the blue shades. I will also add some orange to the sky to create a nice balance. You can observe better how I created that balance on my finished coloring. So this is my method of picking colors and applying them to achieve the desired look. I hope you find this video helpful. Let me know if you try out some of my methods. Also, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe for future videos. Also, follow me on Instagram for more colorings and lovely coloring pages. See you next time. Until then, happy coloring!